Hi, it's Adriana with Fact Academy. Today we're going to learn how to lure a dog into a down position. Remember, if you get anything out of this video, please make sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notifications so that you know when another video comes out. Let's get started. To lure the down, first make sure that you have treats that your dog is interested in. Obviously, Guapo does find these interesting and tasty, which is good. For luring, you want to imagine that you are connecting the treat to your dog's nose, and then you're moving them around using that treat. It's the most common way that people use to teach new behaviors. It's not the only way to teach the down, so you'll have to stay tuned for another video on another method for teaching it. But all you're going to do here is make an L shape on the floor. So you're gonna go straight down, and I'm gonna go ahead and treat him for following my hand there, just because I do like for the dog to get the idea of, oh yeah, I am supposed to just keep snuffling until she releases the treat. So I'm gonna do that again, just down to the floor, and I'm releasing the treat as soon as his nose is right on the ground. Since he's having a really easy time of that, the next step is that I'm gonna lower it to the ground and then actually move it in toward his paws. You want to imagine that you're going toward his back paws. For this method, I don't want him to be sitting when I do that, because a lot of times that'll just cause him to get up and back away. So I'm going to get him standing just by holding the treat out. We're encouraging him down and then back toward his paws. And see the elbow bend? I'm going to release the treat when his elbow is bending like that, right here. If he keeps backing up, I'm just going to get him closer and try again. I'm gonna go ahead and give him that one because this elbow was bent. Do it again. Good. And I went ahead and just used a verbal marker to try to specifically make it clear to him what is the moment that he earned the treat. And it's when his elbow was bent, or in this case, he got all the way into that play bow position. So he's so young, he may not understand that marker yet, but the more you use it, the more your dog will associate that with the treat being delivered. Let me get him up again, so down and then straight in toward his paws. Good. And you have to really imagine yourself going under the chin. A lot of times people will keep the treat too far forward and they won't bend their elbows. Good. So now that we're getting good elbow bends, let me get several repetitions of that. Good. Angle. Move the back. And you want to go slowly enough that you're trying to get him not to actually back away. Good. If your dog is struggling like he just was right there, to the point where he actually moved his nose away from the treat, good. That means that you're going to need to just back up, which is fine. All you're really trying to do is keep them involved in the game. You don't have to be like, oh, no, I'm not going to release the treat until he does this. Good. As long as he's trying, you know, you can go ahead and encourage that by giving him a little freebie. Good. That's beautiful. Good boy. Perfect. Good job. Good. Look at you. As soon as you get that first down, you're going to go ahead and jackpot the dog. Don't just get a huge handful of treats and give the dog the treats all at once, because they will just swallow it and it will feel like a normal treat. Instead, give several little bits and pieces and just make that reinforcer last a long time. I'm also gonna go ahead and get him used to staying in that down until released. We'll talk about that release word in another video, but for now, I'm just gonna say the release word and then encourage him to get up. Okay. Make sure that you say that release word clearly before you encourage him to get up so that he starts associating it with the end of the behavior. Now that he's doing so well with this, I actually am holding out until I at least get elbows touching the floor. I won't be super strict yet about his bottom going down, because I'm still trying to give him a very clear message that, yes, you're on the right track. You should keep doing that. Good. Good boy. Good. Good boy. Good boy. And I'm going to extra treat, since he just chose to stay down there with his bottom down, and little chicken legs too, which is adorable. Not necessary, but it's cute. And then I'm going to say my release word and encourage him to get up. Okay. Good boy. Good. Good. Good boy. Look at you. So by giving several treats in a row while he's down, you're just building a lot of value to that. And since he's doing so well, some dogs won't stay down as easily. I'm just spreading out the time between those treats. I'm even looking away from him, which makes it harder for a lot of dogs because they think that you've disengaged. And since he got up on his own, I'm not gonna correct it, right? You don't have to tell him or stop because he's just now learning this behavior. So I need to make sure that my expectations are realistic. And all I've done so far is show him like, oh man, it was so much cooler when I was laying down. And he's learning that since he got up without being released, I'm not treating that behavior. So this should still help him. This should still help him learn this behavior quickly. Okay. See how he doesn't even want to get up anymore because he's seeing so much value to staying in that down position, which is exactly what we want. Good. So now I am holding out for the for his bottom on the floor. Okay. Good job. I'm not quite ready to fade out the treats yet because he's still taking a little bit of time to get into that position. So I'm going to continue with this. Good. Until he's just quickly and easily getting into that down. Good. Okay. Do one more. Good. Okay. Okay. He's like, no, give me treats. Good job, buddy. Now that he's doing such a great job with getting into that down position, it's time to start fading the treats. In order to do that, I'm going to start off just being real sneaky. Treat will be in the other hand. I'm going to pretend like I have something here. Good. I show him the empty hand and I deliver the treat from my other hand. The reason I show him the empty hand is because I want to have a moment of like, hey, there was no treat in there. And then realize I'm still going to get that reinforcer. Okay. Okay. Good job. So again, treat is in my non-luring hand. Luring hand goes down. He's good. See how he took the moment to like really sniff and be like, I don't know if there's anything in there. But he stuck with it and kept going. Okay. If you have a dog that's that's like very quickly realizing, hey, there's no treat, I'm not gonna do it. A lot of times what you have to do is like really get that scent of the treat on your hand to convince them because they just need a couple of repetitions where they see like, okay, even if there's no treat in the hand, I'm still gonna get that reinforcer. So I'm gonna do that a couple more times. Good. Okay. And notice that he's definitely sniffing and saying like, wait, this doesn't seem like there's anything in there. So that's why he's taking longer to get into the position now. That's fine. I'm just going to stick with it because I'm just proving to him that it's still going to work. Good. Good job. Okay. Good job, buddy. And notice I'm using that marker as soon as he does the actual behavior. Waiting for that butt. Good. Look at you. You're so good at that. Okay. Good job. Good. So see that now he's trusting more that even if he doesn't smell the treat in the hand, which by now he realizes there's no treat in there, that doing the behavior is still going to get him that treat. So once he's figured that out, you can see that he's quickly deciding to get back into that position because he wants to earn that treat as fast as possible. Okay. Here we are with Guapo's second session working on the down. We're gonna work on getting him to be able to perform that behavior with just a hand signal. He's still a little stuck on needing to have that treat in front of his nose. So we're just gonna continue with that same goal. What I'd like to be able to do is just point to the ground and he'll go right down. I am gonna click for his bottom going down. Okay, say the release word, pause, then toss the treat. We always wanna be reinforcing his understanding of that release word. So I'm gonna use it for any position that I put him in. Good boy. And on that one, I'm gonna treat him for laying down, even though I didn't cue it, just because we're working on that behavior. So if he gave me one, even if I didn't ask for it, I'm still gonna acknowledge and reinforce that. Okay. Now that he understands the behavior and where we're going, I need to be quick about cueing that down since I'm trying to work on the cue itself, not the position. He's got the position now. So I've got to be ready. So I'm going to load up a few treats into my hand so I can do a couple repetitions in a row. Okay. Okay. So here I am. Since he did so well with it, I'm gonna go ahead and just do the pretend treat in my hand. Clicking, treat comes from the other hand. Okay. Okay. I'm ready to do the next repetition. This time I'm just gonna point to the ground and see what happens. He went down so easily on the last one, and he's already kind of in the mood to lay down because he's tired. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go for it. Good job. So you can see what a difference setting your dog up for success with a particular behavior. So in this example, I already worked with him on another behavior, and so he's already mentally and physically tired. That means that I'm just more likely to get a stronger behavior with this stationary down and that relaxed position because he's in the mood to lay down. So if you're working with your dog and it's the first behavior that you work on and they're super, super excited, unless they're really, really good at the behavior already, you probably don't want to work on a calm, relaxed behavior. You would want to start with something more high energy to set them up for success. Repetitions of that. Good boy. In that case, he chose to do bottom down first and then elbows, so I actually clicked the completion of the down position, which was elbows this time. So you kind of have to play it by ear to know which one you're going to click. Okay. I'm going to keep with the hand signal a couple more times, and then I'll show you how we move beyond that. Good job. Okay. Good job. Look at you, so smart. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm not going to touch my finger to the floor. I'm going to put it a couple inches from the floor. He probably didn't even notice that I did anything different. So until that repetition, I had been touching my finger to the floor. Now I want to almost imperceptibly change the height of my finger because eventually I want to work up to being able to cue it from a standing position without having to bend over at all. So I'm going to slowly move my finger higher and higher up off the floor, and then I'll work on standing up next. So now I'm going to have my finger about 2 inches off the ground. He did that great. Good boy. Okay. I'm going to do 3 inches, so I'm literally going inch by inch. That's how slowly I'm changing the criteria here because it just makes it more likely that he's going to do an errorless trial. The more times he gets it right, the stronger the behavior is going to be. I'm going to wait here for a moment to see if he thinks about what the behavior is that we've been working on. When that happens and you see your dog is engaged but not performing the behavior, let them think for a moment. It's really hard for us to do as humans because we want to get quick results, but dogs need that little extra space to think about what they're doing. I don't make eye contact during that time because if I'm making eye contact, okay, he's likely to think that I'm going to direct him. So I literally just looked at the floor between his paws. Good boy. And he thought about and figured out what the behavior was. Okay. Now I'm going to get up on my knees and I'm going to keep my hand about the same distance that I was. Good boy. Nice job. Okay. I'm going to keep moving my hand up just a little bit at a time. Right there. When you're working with your dog and they're taking a little bit of time to sniff around, just let them, especially if it's been a long training session. Those little brain breaks where they're sniffing around and finding a treat will actually help them stay engaged for longer because it's giving them that little mental break. Especially with a young puppy like Guapo, you want to give them that break so that they can keep working with you. So I'm going to let him keep sniffing for a moment. Good boy. Okay. Good job, buddy. Okay. Now I'm going to stand up even straighter or kneel up straighter. Good boy. Okay. And I'm going to put one foot up just so he gets used to seeing my feet. Good job, buddy. Okay. now I'm gonna be on both feet but sort of crouched over. So again, I'm just trying to make it look as similar to the previous one as I can while still moving forward. Good job. Okay. I'm still gonna crouch over a little bit, but not as much, and still keeping my hand pretty low. Okay. Okay. So I have to be ready to cue that, right? And we're setting him up for success because he wants to lay down. He gets the point. So we're just really getting him used to seeing the hand signal when he performs the behavior. Here he's thinking, I'm looking at the ground in front of him. Good boy. Okay. Here's another one similar to that. I'm pointing to the ground in front of him. I'm not making eye contact. Good boy, look at you. And he sat up, even though I hadn't released him. I'm not gonna fuss over that, it's okay. He's just learning the hand signal right now. Look how I'm not leaning over anymore. Well, I guess I'm leaning over just a little bit. And I'm really giving him a chance to think about it. Good boy, okay. This time I wanna try just staying all the way standing up. Good boy, okay. If you're wondering, well, is he really understanding the hand signal if he's laying down anyway? Probably not completely, right? And I'm not expecting him to 100% understand. Okay, I'm literally just trying to get that muscle memory in and get him used to seeing that cue right before he performs the behavior. It's a really common strategy when you're training a dog to only add in the cue, in this case, the hand pointing down, when you're really confident that he's going to perform the behavior, because that way we're just pairing over and over and over again the hand signal with the behavior. So here I'm pretty sure that he'll lay down, so I went ahead and cued it. Okay. And you keep working like this. Over time, what you can do is instead of using a treat every time, you can use a treat every other time. Good job, buddy. And that'll get him used to weaning off the treats. Okay. Make sure to check out my video on teaching a sit state to see how you could teach the same behavior in the down position so that you can then actually use distractions in his surroundings to reinforce the behavior rather than always having to use treats to reinforce it. If you want to add a verbal signal to the behavior, the important thing is that you say the word first. I'm going to use the word down, and then cue using your hand. So your hands have to be totally still when you say that word, otherwise he's just going to be staring at my hands. I'm going to say the word, pause, then hand signal. And what that'll do is it'll teach him that the word or the hand signal will be reinforced if he does that particular position. Down. Nice job, good boy. If he chooses to stay in that position, go ahead and treat him. Make sure that if he's reaching up for that treat, you don't release the treat until he's back down on his elbows. That just reinforces to him what the position is that he should be in. Okay. So again, I'm going to say the word, pause, look at my hands, down, and then in that case, again, it's like we're setting him up for absolute success, but his brain is still registering, okay, that word will be reinforced if he goes into that position. The more training sessions you do like this, the more clearly he's going to understand. So hands still, down. Okay. That was literally microscopic. I'll do one more. Down. Good boy, so smart. Okay. Hi, you're still here. I'm guessing if you made it this far, you've liked this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. And now I have to ask for a favor. If you can, you have no idea how much I rely on your support. If you're able to spare a few bucks on Patreon and become one of my patrons and get access to some exclusive content, please do. So if you did get something from this video, please consider becoming one of my supporters on Patreon so I can continue to make videos that you love.